As many of you may or may not know, about a week ago, IGN released a clickbait article stating how Blitzball may be headed to Final Fantasy XIV. Now, of course, this article doesn't mention Blitzball is confirmed for Final Fantasy XIV, but rather Yoshida had mentioned to Yoshinori Kitase, the producer for Final Fantasy X, that there was an interest in the current player base for Blitzball. Now, of course, the possibility of Blitzball being implemented anytime soon is extremely far-fetched, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be other pieces of content or additional mechanics which draws likeliness to Blitzball, such as swimming. Now, I'm not here to be some wholly benevolent creature that's going to confirm swimming will be in Final Fantasy XIV, but rather demonstrate that there's a strong possibility swimming, or elements of swimming, may eventually be implemented. The first thing you need to consider is the similarity between swimming or diving and flying in a 3D space. They are pretty identical. Biped or bone systems in 3D space can move along the y-axis, which is forward and backwards, the x-axis, which is left and right, and the z-axis, which is up and down. We already have flying, which we all know will be in the Heavensward expansion pack, so they can easily implement swimming in the future if they wanted to. It's just a matter of creating new animations and they're just ready to go. However, this doesn't really say much. Yoshida did previously mention swimming in A Realm Reborn beta forums, which I do remember. It was around beta phase 2 or maybe sometime just before. Unfortunately, the beta forums no longer exist, so I cannot log in and steal some sources. Plus, I still believe I'm subjected to the NDA I signed back then, so I had a little gander around the internet to see if I can find any other public sources of Yoshida mentioning swimming. And there's quite a lot. One of the more recent mentions was back in March 2014, Live Letter 13, where Yoshida mentioned he was deciding whether to swim or fly in the expansion. The fact that he did have swimming in mind at one point does indicate that they may well have concept art and some prototyping models already in play, which aided them in their decision between flying or swimming. But that's not all there is. In a 4-gamer interview with Yoshida back in February 2013, 6 months before the launch of A Realm Reborn, Yoshida was talking about the aesthetic in Ul'dah and Limsa, and how he wanted to make the sea look like something that you'd want to dive into. The interviewer then asked Yoshida, can you actually dive in? And Yoshida jokingly responded, not yet. Of course, this doesn't really mean anything, but knowing Yoshida and his antics about what he previously said about flying, the ninja, the Dark Knight, and some gun job, aka the machinist, we can probably assume again he's planning or was planning at some point the implementation of swimming. Now we're going all the way back to September 2012. Yes, 2012, before the alpha for A Realm Reborn even begun. Yoshida held a special A Realm Reborn show as part of the 25th Final Fantasy Anniversary weekend, where he announced the Scholar and the Summoner. Yoshida then held a fan Q&A at the end of his presentation, and he was asked by a fan, can we fly or swim? And Yoshida mentioned that there's a 50-50 chance between flying or swimming, but he's more inclined towards flying at the moment since it's a Final Fantasy game and having airships along with exploring the skies seemed like a great idea to him. Remember, this is 2012, 2 years before Heavensward and Flying Mounts were even first announced. And if you want even further proof that the concept of swimming has been around for a very long time, I take you all the way back to November 2011, Live Letter 2. This is before they even implemented jumping into the game, so this is like a prehistoric A Realm Reborn. And Yoshida's comment about swimming was, we're looking at the implementation sometime after 2.0. We think that being able to swim wouldn't be much fun by itself, so we'll be adding areas that you can explore underwater, temples and the like. Please keep in mind that we are still in the very early stages of development. Later on, he mentioned swimming mounts, where he said implementing swimming mounts will be very challenging. We will definitely have to get creative with how the animation will work on water. If we do implement this, we might make it so players will be able to swim only on the surface but not dive under. So yes, swimming has been at one point in development, or at least been in the conceptual stage of A Realm Reborn alongside flying since as early as 2011. So maybe that clickbait article from IGN about Blitzball had some truth behind it. Maybe we might in fact get swimming in 4.0, who knows? Let me know your thoughts about swimming in Final Fantasy XIV in the comment section down below. So guys, thank you for watching, take care, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.